G'day, beautiful people. Hello and welcome again to your Monday evening. I'm Dan. I'm here with you. We're going to have a good time together. We're going to relax. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're probably going to drink a little bit. There'll be lots of stuff to go on. I see a number of you in the chat as well. G'day. Retia Tanti, Dad Hammer, who's obviously very stoked about some of the stuff that's coming out, but we'll talk about that in a second. Slanice, we're actually going to be talking about some of your stuff at the moment. Lugnuts to Mad, good to see you. And joining me today for what I think is possibly the most ridiculous show that I have done so far, and probably will do in quite a while, is the wonderful Veronica from Casually Fragrant. Hello, V. How are you doing?
Hey everyone, doing good.
Yeah, some of you may know V from the chat. She is Cool Bunny in the chat, and she has a nose that knows. I think we could say, like, you'd say you've got quite a talented nose.
I think so, most of the time.
Yeah, but okay, right. Like a high quality olfactory sense. So in the chat, I don't know what creature in the mortal realms has the most advanced sniffer, but that's obviously what you are, V. You have incredible nostril capacity, and for that reason, you have a YouTube channel called Casually Fragrant, where you look at perfumes and colognes and fragrances, effectively. Dad Hammer saying you're a sneaky snuffler, which I think is probably about right. You know, like they find mushrooms and stuff like that. That makes sense. Or maybe a flesh hound, because you can hunt stuff across the realms. Whatever it is, it's clearly badass. Or seekers. Apparently, seekers of Slanesh can smell lust, which is that's a useful thing to be able to smell. But how are you? How are you going, V? How's your day?
It's pretty good. I had the day off today, so that's kind of nice.
It's a good day. And now, for those who are drinking along in the chat, because we are obviously a classy and sophisticated show where we're talking about scent this show, along with some other stuff, I shall be drinking bubbles because I am a classy broad. Come on, calm down, you little jerk. There we go. So I hope everyone's having a lovely drink along with us, whether it's whiskey or water or beer or whatever your little heart feels like. Fungus beer, apparently, is going on in the chat. You could be an Alopex as well, the big shark things from the Deep Kings. Apparently they can smell blood. Nemesis, Darren in the chat, hello. Good to see you. Yet some people drinking water. Dad Hammer has a Milo, which is an Australian classic. Are you drinking anything at the moment, V, or are you like centered and composed?
So I did have some alcohol before the show, but for the sake of me being able to maintain composure, I have switched to pomegranate juice.
Okay, good. Pomegranate, that's nice. That's good. And this show, obviously, we ask all the hard questions on Aussie AOS Mondays. So we obviously need composure for the deep dive that we are going to take. Now, today, some of you may remember a show a long time ago. We got talking about, say, scenting a display board or like what armies smell like. And that's when you and I started talking about this and combining like fragrances with stuff like that, because some of these are fucking amazing. I have this like little collection of things, and they're all tied into an allegiance because you're amazing. So that's where we're going to be looking at some of that, which is going to be awesome. But before we do, we have a couple of things that we have to talk about first. And the first one that we obviously can't start a show without, of course, is the most important part in any show, and what it is to be an early watcher of the show is to send nudes. To send NUDES, nice unique drawings everyone scribbled, that I am just realizing I left outside of the studio. So I just just bear with me, this high-tech thing. Excuse me. Thank you, assistant. And my assistant has provided me the scribbles that we have for today. Yes, good. Thank you, assistant. So we've got a couple. One of which I haven't done yet because I was holding off and I wanted a Slanesh or a Daughters of Cain player, and you play both, which is perfect.
Yes. Yes.
So it will be a great one for that. But the first one that we have
okay.
it's I don't know, it's kind of maybe more of a meme than a scribble. It's a little.
I like memes. I like
Okay,
memes.
okay, good.
You're already up +1.
All right, so it's coming in good. All right, so what we have here for this one, it says, it's got a little quote up the top, and it says, there we go. I'll show that to everyone there. It says, players. Well, at least Stormcast don't have wizards, and then someone has like photoshopped Daniel Radcliffe, as in like Harry Potter's head, onto the top of the Stormcast, onto an evocator. Obviously being a joke about the fact that the Stormcast only were missing 2 things, and then suddenly they magically fucking got them. So yeah, and he's looking kind of shocked, like you're a wizard, Harry, kind of thing. And I guess Harry Potter has a lightning bolt on his head as well, which is that's appropriate. I guess you get to choose even what it's scored out of. So we've had things scored out of 10, out of 13, out of wars, out of discrete penises, even scored just colours from the range. So you get to choose how you score it and what the score is.
So I'm going to be a little basic for now and go out of 10.
Out of 10, good, yep.
Yes.
We're out of 10. And how do we feel for the giving Stormcast a hard time for being wizards now?
So, because it's a meme, you get, a plus with me, but because it's Stormcast and I don't play them, you're like minus.
Okay, yep.
So,
where do we end up?
An 8.
An 8, that's pretty generous. That's pretty generous for the boy who lived. And there he is, right there. He's surprised. He's got a sword and a big stick and no fucking owl. Slanice in the chat saying Hermione did all the fucking work, which I think is probably fair enough. I feel like Harry was just around to kind of get the last hit on things and be like, yeah. And Hermione really just carried the team. No, you disagree?
Yeah. Can I be honest and say
Go.
I haven't read all the books.
Sacrilege. How very dare you not read a ton of children's books.
So, yeah, I guess I've seen some of the movies, but I can't really comment.
Yeah, well, that's...
So I agree with you.
Yeah, look, we can just think Dobby is a goblin, apparently, which I would also believe. And Slanee's saying that it has missed a bit of this, obviously, the baby, having required a little bit of attention, and that's okay. Other things require your attention other than hobby. Now, this one... I don't know how you'll feel about this. I know that the person who sent it to me was hoping to upset Daughters of Cain players. And I won't lie, it's not the most smooth of jobs. But what we have here is, it looks like a sunset. And the title is Friends Forever, with an exclamation mark. And it's a sunset with Marathi and a Keeper of Secrets. And they are friends forever, apparently. So I guess...
I don't know how that would upset me, because I love both of those.
Well,
those are like my 2 favorite models in the game.
I know. See, that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like
if I
for
could
you...
take both of those in a list, like, if I could ever do,
fuck off.
like, cross-faction, I would do Slanesh and Daughters of Cain.
Marathi's pretty much just a big fucking Keeper of Secrets anyway, the knife snake jerk. Anyway, I feel like this was supposed to upset probably a Daughters of Cain player by suggesting that Marathi is pretty much just a Slaneshi demon. Which she did crawl out of Slanesh's taint hole, so we could probably believe that that's realistic.
So, am I allowed to ask questions about it? Because I don't.
Yeah, no, that's it. You can't see it. You have to blind review. So
is there color? Is there any color?
It is, but it's not great. So we've got some green grass and we've got a blue sky.
Is it like a 4-year-old, a 10-year-old,
well,
or
it's
a 16-year-old who doesn't care?
It's. I feel like it was actually an adult using paint.
Paint, okay.
Like it's like a lot of block colors, and then it looks like the Marathi and the Keeper were just pulled off the Games Workshop website. There's a big love heart between Marathi and the Keeper.
Okay. So I took art in school. So the fact that it's Like, you're saying it's not drawn to the best of an artistic ability.
Well, it's
to
not.
lose points,
It's yeah.
because
However,
it's Daughters of Cain and Slanesh, I'm gonna give it a 6.
okay, 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
6 out of 10. All right, there we go. So Harry Potter on top of a Stormcast at 8.
Yeah.
Daughters of Cain munching it up with a bit of Slanesh, only a 6. People in the chat saying that it might have been a plant, that you might have fixed it because you wanted it for yourself. No, this came in probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I only just got around to it for this one, and it seemed right.
Yeah, Dan told me yesterday that we're doing it today.
Yeah. Also, this was a bit of a surprise. No trying, but this. Vanilla just asked Alex saying, "Would it not be a 6.9?" Which is subtle but also basic, and I love it for that. So that's our lovely daily beginning of the show with sending nudes. So thank you, art critic Veronica. Thank you very much for assessing today's nudes. And thank you to everyone in the chat who has sent nudes. If I haven't got to them, they will be in my file somewhere, and I will get to them eventually. Or if you want to send nudes, please go right ahead. Dad Hammer's watching this while writing a D&D players pack. Awesome. I'm very much like getting right into character, but that's because I'm a ridiculous human being. Squibble's pointing out, yes, we a member of the 40k community, didn't play AOS, but a member of the 40k community passed away unexpectedly over the weekend, and a very sad loss. And our thoughts do go out to him, his friends, family, everything like that. If you are feeling a little bit down, a little bit sad about that, talk to someone, get some help, because there's nothing wrong with being a little sad. We all have emotions. And I mean, V, if you had a broken leg, what would you do?
If I had a broken leg?
Yeah, if you had a broken leg, what would you do?
I would sit on the couch and get my husband to bring me stuff.
Yeah, right? Like, you would be like, I'm not great. I require assistance. Bring it here. So if you or someone you know is not doing great and they require assistance, give them some help, because there's no shame in it. Just like if I was coughing up like a weird purpley color, I would probably get some medicine. Dad,
you should just go straight to the ER. Just like, if you're coughing up purple, I don't think assistance, unless it's like a qualified medical professional.
No, I'm just going to talk. There's a bloke down the street. I'd trust him. Dad Hammer's saying that if he had a broken leg, he'd probably just cut it off and get a peg leg, because he's a big pirate fan. Going back to all those lovely piratey elves, of course he is. Andy Selwood, it just built some Kurnoth sword hunters, which we never saw sword hunters previously, so that's always nice to see them getting them. And Slanee's saying, to extend the metaphor in a lovely way, make sure you listen when people say their legs hurt too. That is a good point as well. If someone does need a little bit of help, actually listen to them. Don't just fudge it and fly on by, because someday they may be rich and famous, and you may want to crash in their luxury yacht. Which I think is an important lesson we should all remember, that sometimes our friends will be incredibly successful and we want to be able to mooch off them. Now, before we get to the piece de resistance of today, which is obviously talking about scents and smells and all that lovely, lovely stuff, we have a couple of recent news things to talk about. The first one being that Free Peoples and Oryx, the orcs, have gotten announced that they'll have a battle tome coming out, like a mixed combo battle tome, which I think is really cool. V, do you have any strong opinions this way, or do you just not give any fucks unless they're weird stab ladies?
I give no fucks because I'm not going to be playing them, but I have a few friends that play them, so they're probably really excited.
And I mean, as far as you're concerned, both of your armies like killing men. And this looks like a lot of both green and then weak, fleshy human men for your Daughters of Cain and Demonettes to cut the hearts out of and either sacrifice or wear as a necklace. So, it's good. Personally, I'm excited because, for me, my favourite stories from both 40k and the old world were always about, like, civilian shit. Like the dude who works in the sewers and, like, the small-scale stuff, rather than the ones about huge, big heroes. I'm like, yeah, cool, but he shoots fucking lightnings out of his bum hole and he's got a magic sword that does all the work and his armor can't be pierced. Like, I don't really give a fuck about him. But, like, Freddy, who just wants 2 shoes so that he doesn't have to walk through broken glass every day, I'm like, that guy's the guy I want to hear stories about. So I'm really excited about it because I think it's just going to bring so much cool like background and storyline to the world, which it's kind of been waiting for. We got a bit in the Firestorm release, but not heaps. Do you have did you ever look into any of the cities, V, or are you mostly just on the Realm of Chaos bandwagon?
Definitely just focusing on chaos right now. I haven't really looked at anything else. When are they expected to come out? I didn't take a look.
I don't
Any
know, but
updates, or is it just
well, Warcry was a 2-week pre-order, so it's went on pre-order Saturday, and I don't think it comes out for another week and a half or week and a bit. So I would say not until after then. So maybe not for another month or more.
okay?
But I love reading. I remember reading some of the stories and stuff about like Daughters of Cain in like mortal cities and stuff. And because they're so like just murdery, but then also real hard to bring to justice. Like everyone is always just kind of around them like, are we sure we're cool with that? And it's like basically like they kill less of us when they're our allies than when they're our enemies. So let's just be allies and let them kill some of us, which I think is great. I think it's messed up. You're a Daughters of Cain player. I take it you just see all the other species as just fodder for your little soul string shit.
Pretty much. I actually started AOS with I saw the Neferata model, and I was like, ooh, it's like, and I love the whole vampire lore and all that. So that's what got me into AOS. And then as soon as I started getting all those models, like Daughters of Cain were announced, and as soon as I saw Marathi, I was like, that's it. Like, forget all the other stuff. That
and
was done. I'm gonna play Daughters of Cain.
I need Daughters of Cain in and about my life. And it was and it never looked back. And also, like, why would you? Daughters of Cain are fucking great. Except now they're pointed fairly, which I'm all about. Though I'm sure.
You know what? No, you know what? They got it. They got so nerfed. I haven't played with them with the new thing, but I'm just so sad that they changed up my little Hag Queen. Like, all my armies are up in points now.
I know. My heart bleeds for you that suddenly you have to pay.
Everyone should.
What
they did
acceptable amount of points.
Poor little girls.
I know, and all they've done is shit mix every fucking army they came up against. Like, gee, surely they deserved a better opportunity. Now, the other one that they've announced is like the Uruk clans, which is like all of the Bone Splitters and Iron Jaws. I'm guessing maybe Greenskins, probably not, but like all mixed in together, like I guess like orc cities, if the orcs built cities and didn't just like stab and kill everyone and then live in their cities until they started a fire and then moved or something. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about this one too, because it's like maybe giving a bit more character to the Greenskins, which, like, Gloomspite was really cool because it gave character to the little farty muffin mushroom puff boys. So I'm kind of really cool to see the kind of the combo of them all. And so Vanilla just asked Alex, Vanilla Sauce saying Iron Jaws, Bone Splitters, and the Big Wah, which will be really fucking cool. So yeah,
it's interesting how they're joining them together. Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I'm concerned with it because I'm like, well, they each had a few weaknesses, and now they're going to get to combo a lot of stuff together. But I'm excited for it because Greenskins are kind of iconic, and they haven't had a lot of flexibility at the moment. And they really, even the Iron Jaws have a very limited, like, let's say, like, unit selection, and then Bone Splitters really have a limited unit selection. So I'm kind of excited to see the two of them getting together. So yeah, I reckon it'll be awesome, and just lots and lots of bacon. Yep. Or like a profit on a wyvern. It'd be cool to see some new models. Were you ever tempted by the big green love muffins, or not really?
No, not one bit. Like, I would just walk past it.
Yeah, you wouldn't see. There's one unit in the Bone Splitters that kind of makes me want to do them. And that's I can't remember what they're called. Someone in the chat will correct me. It'll probably be Lugnuts to Mad. I'm so sorry for letting you down. But they're the ones that basically like try to ride monsters and like stab it in the head. And in combat, I think it's like a model dies from the unit, but you do D3 mortal wounds to a monster that unit's in combat with. But if that D3 mortal wounds kills the monster, the Bone Splitter survives. Because he basically, like, they just take turns one at a time jumping on its back and trying to ride it and stab it in the head. Most of the time they get crushed. But if one manages to kill it, he's just like, yeah! So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
It's on a 4+ D3 water win. So yeah, I dig it. And yeah, I'm excited. I think they'll be fun. Sorry, I missed a ton of stuff in the chat there. Slanice wanting to bunk with Grungy. No, Grungy is a total power bottom, not a top. Too lazy. Total too lazy. Dad Hammer would be super excited for the Cities of Sigmar book. You love the narrative. You're pretty much like the gestalt consciousnesses of all the Age of Sigmar narratives. So that makes complete sense. Someone apparently called Bone Splitters Bone Spitters, which is probably fair enough, yeah. And T. Pearson pointing out not being able to wait for ogres to take their place on the top of destruction again. And I'm keen to see ogres too. We won't talk about it too much, but have you seen the image of the new big ogre tyrant-y dude that they've announced?
I might not have.
No,
we've had family visiting in the past.
Yeah,
so you had
so your hobby stuff has been
we've been flipping river rafts and been
yes,
dying on.
I saw the video. You're on some massive fucking rapids and ending up underneath all that stuff, which is I find.
Maybe I did see it because I feel like there's everything that happened before this rapid adventure and then after. So I feel like maybe I did say I just forgot.
Well, you know what? And if you're on some rapids, right? It's so basic to just stay in the boat and stay afloat and stay in the normal place. You know what trailblazers do? They flip the boat and end up upside down. That's obviously where you want to be with that one, right? Yeah, definitely. But yeah, basically they've released a whole lot of new destruction stuff, and the thing is the Gutbusters and the ice people fucking Beast Claw Raiders, that's them. They don't really need any new models. They've got cool models. They've got all the stuff they need. They just kind of need a book, put them all together. And honestly, I think they're going to release a plastic hero, which will be the Tyrant. They'll drop off a lot of the other stuff. And they'll, put them all together in one army. And I can't fucking wait. I think it looks incredible. I have an army of them at home in Australia, which devastatingly I left in Australia. So if anyone is ever coming to Canada from Australia, how would you feel about bringing me some ogres over in your carry-on? And Slanesh will fucking love them, Slanice pointing out, because of all that depravity that unit models with 4 wounds each. What's that? Your battle line is 3 units of 3 9 4-wound models, and they're the lowest model wound model counts in your army. Great. Let me introduce you to a fucking demon prince. You're excited, I take it, for having some big fatties to stab?
Yeah, I think somebody should definitely bring them for you because I tend to always lose to you. So I think I need some.
Right, yeah. Well,
higher wound.
We actually played a game just yesterday, and spoiler alert: the dwarves won, though it was a pretty tight run thing. And we'll talk about Slanesh in just a moment. But yeah, in the chat, people are excited of all the releases coming up because we're about to move on. But for those in the chat, what are you most excited about? Like Warcry, the cities, the orc clans, the ogres, just the new set, which looks like the bone thing, the Feast of Bones or something. It looks like there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming quite soon, which I'm excited to see as well. Because when you look at it, right, every year every year or so that Age of Sigmar has been around had like a theme. It was like the first year was all about chaos, and then the second, like the rise of chaos and stuff, and order fighting back. And the second period has all been about like death, like Nagash and the shit that he pulled fucking everyone up. And now it looks like destruction's coming back with a vengeance, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the death also of like Daughters of Cain killing everyone.
Yeah. And Daughters of Cain just being like, fuck you, we'll stab you. And people are like, can you stop killing shit for 30 seconds? Because we need some of this shit alive. And then they were like, nah, fuck it, I stabbed it so good. And everyone's like, what? Why? Why won't you just please be chill? And they're like, I don't understand what you're asking of me. Which is why I think that they would be probably the worst allies in Order. Because almost anyone else, I feel like you could have a coherent conversation with them and be like, hey, this is the plan for these reasons. Whereas if you tried to have a coherent conversation with the Daughters of Cain like witch elf or something, I imagine she stabs
Yeah.
you, she stabs everyone within arm's reach, and then randomly decides whatever the fuck she's going to do based off like however she's feeling at the moment.
Well, it's like when you're talking to Marathi before she beasts out, it's
Yeah.
like, she can beast out.
Yeah, yes.
So, like, you don't want to piss her off.
No, you're having a
It's
conversation
like
with...
tiptoeing.
Yeah, you're just like...
Tiptoeing around a dog that's, like, aggressive.
You're like, hey, no pressure. You can feel free to say no. But what would be fucking great is if you committed murder against them, the people trying to kill us. And she'd be like, uh-huh. You're like, wow, blah, 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 blah. But, if that's not what you're into, let's not get all scaly. I mean, scathing. Let's just stay fucking normal. Hair trigger. People in the chat, orcs, the cities. Slanee's just stoked about there being so much just in Age of Sigmar alone, which I agree with. Mr. Selwood, Andy himself saying hello in the chat. Demigriffs being better would be awesome, which is agreed. Nemesis is chasing them sweet, fresh, hot Wanderers rules, which I know, I don't know if he's in the chat, but Mr. Gammy, all the way from Australia, one of Australia's wonderful War Dolly players and Wanderer fanatic from back in Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy times, plays Wanderers and has a beautiful army. Womble Club are looking forward to the cities. And do I think the dwarves will be roped into cities book or get their own? I 100% think Dispossessed are going to be included in the new book. As top tier as they are, and Veronica, you can agree with this, Dispossessed are clearly top tier, right?
Like, if there's like a 1-tier system.
All right, okay. Not the support I was looking for, but also fine, fair. But yeah, I think Dispossessed are wonderful. I love them. I think they've got a wonderful range of models for where they are. They're obviously not a major thing for Age of Sigmar, and I'm okay with that. I don't expect them to get their own book. I don't want them to get their own book because the way they're much more metropolitan, they do their own thing. So I'm actually just excited to have more options for running them. I don't particularly need another book because at the moment I'm still just fucking loving them straight out of the General's Handbook. Dramsus just excited for a Seraphon tome, which we're probably getting closer to. And Slade's pointing out very correctly that Daughters of Cain will stab someone while they're asking them to stop stabbing both themselves and other people. But that's good. And Dadhammer pointing out that we should remember that Wanderer, Dispossessed, and Free People's Allegiances aren't in the battle tome itself. So it's like you have the allegiances in the battle tome, they don't supersede or replace other stuff. They would be like permanently. You would choose what to do, whether you're a city, whether you're whatever, blah blah blah. But yeah, T Pearson 815 saying like the new Ogres versus Daughters of Cain would just look like an oversized Ron Jeremy snuff film. Oh god, but it's probably fair. Yeah, like little squat Ron Jeremy's getting absolutely wrecked by Slanesh tearing them all apart. But yeah, people stoked with you for throwing shit at Dispossessed, which is not stoked to see that. Lugnuts to Mad saying there's 3 new Lizardman models. I'm not actually certain about that because I think they were conversions, the ones that we saw, unless there were another 3 models that got out there. I think they were heavy conversions using like Necrons and Trolls and stuff. Swift Hawk agents are wanted. Yes, I feel you. We need postmen. Just saying it's excited to see people take the cover off the Cities of Sigmar tome, and it's actually just the same city, but then there's just legs in like ogre mouths because obviously they've eaten everybody, which is devastating because they do need it. Yes, people very disappointed by the reveal that I unfortunately just the spoiler there that it's not new models, but yeah, I saw them. They look like these 3 fucking awesome new like weird tech Aztec kind of things, but they were actually conversions using Necron parts, which broke my heart to hear it. If you could pick anything to be coming out, V, in the next little while, what would you go with?
Like a new army, you mean,
Like,
or
or
just in
you
general
can
what I'm
just
looking forward to?
you can choose after these next couple of releases. You get to pick what happens in Age of Sigmar, and I'll throw this to the chat as well. What would it be? Like, what would it be? A new army? Would it be a fresh tome for an old
Well,
army?
I'm
Well, yeah.
I'm really hoping for the AOS RPG game to come out, and it's not out
Right.
yet. So I hope
Yes.
that comes out
Mm-hmm.
because the 40K one's out. So I'm hoping
Yep.
for the AOS one to come
And
out.
that'd be great. Like, especially the
Um,
Go Trek books. Reading them because they're going very like listening to Realm Slayer and the Bone Desert. Go Trek goes really into like gets drunk at taverns or ends up like in on a donkey caravan through the realm of light and the sinking sands and shit like that. So yeah, I reckon that'd be really cool. But apart from
yeah,
the
and I
RPG,
pray
yeah.
that you can RPG. I pray that you can RPG as a witch elf because that's what
Oh,
I
of course, yeah, and it'd just be like, hey, so this person isn't giving us what we want, and then like she just walks back and it's like, I have what we want. I also have this person's head. There you go. Like, good. But yeah, so other than an RPG, would you anything for the game? Would you throw anything that way?
Well, yeah, like I saw that new release, and I'm gonna get. I'm not even gonna say it but it's that new video that people are guessing are the Tomb Kings, and I used to joke about that, but like that
Yeah.
whole release looked kind of cool actually. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of looked like it would be like either some vampire type thing or I don't know, like so I was kind of excited to see what that ends up becoming.
What I'd actually or something that I saw that looked really cool is like when I was looking at it, is like is that maybe like a death faction that's like purely death rattle? Because there's a lot of stories about like living humans that live in the realm of death, like under Nagash, and they'll be like, say your mate dies, you leave his bones out, and the birds pick him away, and then you carve a bunch of shit into his bones, and then that overnight they come back to life, and you can still talk like they're a skeleton, but you're just still hanging out with your old mate. He's bones, but that's okay. So it'd kind of be cool to see like maybe a realms of death, like living people as well as skeletons. But yeah, I reckon Tomb Kings, there's been a lot of hints about it, and it's either writers and background writers just basically like carroting us, like dropping the little carrot on the string. We're like, oh please, oh please, and then they're like, no. Or it could be something cool. The chat basically looking for Dad Hammer pointing out the Satyr and the Centaur looking elves from Beastgrave. Or that could be new models. The Centaur looking thing could be new models for Beasts of Chaos as well, like the Centaur, which would be cool. Lugnuts Demad just wants orcs on wyverns, which is fair. Drasmus wants a panda race, which would be fucking cool.
No, that ruined Warcraft.
We didn't like it in World of Warcraft, so we're like, no fucking kung fu pandas, please.
No, please no.
I think look, to me, I don't play World of Warcraft, but it did seem like a very like logical step. I was like, pandas, I wonder what they're going to be. Yes, they are. They are very Chinese-inspired pandas. Very Asian pandas. Fair, but also, like, give me, like, pandas covered in weird busted battle plate because they're war criminals. That'd be cool. Not as cute, though, unfortunately. Seraphon from Slanice. Well, I guess Slanice, you just got your Slanice, however you want to pronounce it. You just got a battle tome, so you didn't need anything. Drasmus says, like, destruction-aligned pandas, though. Which, see, that could be kind of cool, Like, they're not really good. They have no chill. Just angry,
evil pandas.
Like drop bears in Australia. Like koalas that want to fuck you up. S Feather saying, actually, what I think would be cool, Slaves to Darkness / Everchosen would be cool. The Drac, that'd be alright. Like the just really hardcore, like dragon people, like tieflings or something. I don't know. Tithe of Bones, Lugnuts is keen for. Just having a look at what else over there. Cathay would be cool. Yeah, like the old school, like kind of like sand dwelling people, which would be really cool. Minimum Pants, wonderful name, but also says bear mounted dwarf cavalry. I would be all about that. That would be so fucking good. Just little short beardy dudes riding what looks like beards with legs. I would be all about that.
That sounds horrible.
It's, you wouldn't even know if they were naked or not. Yes, Vanilla just has pointing out the Drac with the Death Rattle clan from the Nagash book that I was talking about before. I forgot what they were talking about. You are 100% right. They are wonderful. But yeah, if only they were communists, Strasmus points out, which would be, they'd be, if they were Russian dwarves riding bears, we'd be in a happy place. Baby Bear says Slanites, fuck you. They'd need to be at least a full-grown polar bear to carry a dwarf. But they don't have the monster keyword because they're very small. Anyway, getting beyond it, we need to move on to other things. We've got so much shit to talk about. But I quickly, before we start discussing smells, I super quickly want to talk about just some results that I think you will quite like, V.
Yeah.
And that is the recent results from Rend 4 in Ohio. Now, when it was initially announced, I think there was a small error in the tabulation. They announced it as 1, 2, and 3 went to Slaanesh. But no, it wasn't 1, 2, and 3. It was 1, 3, and 4 went to fucking Slaanesh. Second place going to Beasts of Chaos, and fifth place going to Khorne. Which I think is not unexpected. Slaanesh is pretty...
That's pretty cool. I always tend to pick an army, and it always ends up becoming the overpowered one. So I picked Arzakade, then I picked Slaanesh, so I don't know what...
Okay, well, if you could pick Dispossessed in your next choice of army, just so that we naturally become overpowered, that'd be great. But I think it's a pretty clear symbol. I mean, I guess the field maybe had a few Slaanesh armies in it. But apparently, I have some stats here. One of the players, I believe the player who came in first, but I could be mistaken, summoned 4,160 points over the 5 games at a 2,000 point tournament. So that's like 800-ish. Do the math for me. 4,160 points. Chat, do the math. Over 5 games. I think it's like 800 points a game or something, which is fucking incredible.
So I must be playing Slaanesh wrong because I don't get that many points.
Yeah, well, I mean, but okay. So you and I played a game yesterday. We played Knife to the Heart, my Dispossessed, versus your Slaanesh, and in our game where you were playing against an army that's almost all 1 wound, so basically all the depravity points you were generating was from wounds inflicted against your characters and a couple from mine. You still summoned 480 points.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you basically got an extra 25% on top of me. Like, you were playing at 100% and I was playing at 80%. Or I was playing at 100 and you were playing at 125. And that's, like, can you imagine if you went up against, like, Stormcast or something with multiple wounds per model? You'd just be turning around and being like, I shall have another one of those. And yes, I might treat myself to another 40 demonettes. Let's do it.
So I'm starting to think that they did that so that you have to buy so many of, models. Oh, and another thing I tend to do is buy expensive armies for some reason.
Yeah, right. I mean, Daughters of Cain, right?
Daughters
of Cain, where it's like, you need like 90... like Witch Elves / Sisters of Slaughter that come in boxes of 10. Good luck. Like, oh, God. It's nice saying that it's okay as long as the Slaanesh players are more responsible for the pleasure of all participants. And I will say, while you were slicing my dwarves up, I had a wonderful experience playing against you. I was just staggered by the sheer amount of hate that they put out. It's about, TP is pointing out, it's about 830 points summoned per turn, which is just fucking incredible. But yeah, I'm stoked to see them do well, because let's be honest, Flesh Eater Courts for me have, Slaanesh for me have they sucked for a really long time, and now we're seeing it come back, and I'm really excited just for them to be doing well so that they're popular, so we get more of that as opposed to the same old stuff every time. It just makes me happy. And also, after I hadn't seen a Keeper of Secrets in the flesh or like the Games Workshop one until we played, and it is a fucking beautiful model. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, Yeah, it was amazing. And Slanesh saying in the chat, yes, we sucked and we sucked. Because, yeah, they really were the easy beats for quite a while there. So you've only played a handful of games with them, but how are you finding them?
I quite like them actually. I find it. I played only a few back before they were, redone, and um, I found their maneuverability. Like they had like incredible like distances that they could cover, and that's
Yep.
kind of been nerfed now. But
Yeah.
I do not complain. You can't go from end to end, basically.
No, which is devastating, you know?
phase.
You can't run from the corner of a 6-foot board to the other fucking corner of a 6-foot bird in a turn. My heart bleeds for you. Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it, and I've only played a few games at 2,000 points, so I find like there's going to be a lot of stuff that like I've only done I think it was the Pretenders, so I haven't tried the other one. So it'll be interesting to try the different. There's like a lot of options I find with Slanesh, whereas for Daughters it seemed like there were only like a couple lists that you usually saw, and there were people that kind of veered off.
Yeah,
but with like. I mean, I was the typical, like, I did a basic Daughters list. So Slanesh, I find there's going to be, like, a lot more variety already from what I've seen.
I would 100% agree with you. And it's like, I think Skaven are one of the best armies in the game still. However, the Skaven lists that we see doing well, they might have a couple of elements in common or a couple of little combos in common, but the lists seem to be vastly different because there is just so much versatility in the book, and I feel like that's very much the same with Slanesh. Like
definitely.
There's just so much. The only thing that I would change about Slanesh is I would make the locust thing that heroes can do be like a 6+ for regular heroes and a 4+ for your big one. Only because I think that it's the same thing I hate about Flesh Eater Courts being able to fight before the combat phase or whatever the fuck it is. Because I'm like, well, it's basically like it's like priority. For me, priority and like choosing the order of combats is one of the toughest parts of the game, and I don't like anything that stops you having to think, basically. But at the same time, like if you like, I think that's why we'll see shooting come back in a powerful way, because that doesn't happen if you shoot the fucking heroes. Unfortunately, my shooting rolled a lot of 1s to wound against your heroes, so yeah, that went really well. Yeah, that was fun. That was good shooting. Those dwarves did. But like you were saying, though, Daughters of Cain, I reckon 100% were the same, right? Like, almost all of the lists were doing roughly the same thing. You could almost tell people, you go like, and V, I can't remember your Daughters list. I played it a while ago, but I'm going to try to psychically predict what your list was roughly based off what I think every Daughters list was. Okay. Marathi. Slaughter Queen and Cauldron of Blood.
Obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Slaughter Queen and Cauldron of Blood. Hagnar. 2 hags. 2 hag queens.
I ended up going with 3 at the end.
Okay, yep.
Minimum
2. Went to 3. Yeah. Good. Yep, good. And then like 2 20s or 30s of witch elves. And then like 1 or 2 10s of something else. And then a couple of units
I did Sisters of Slaughter.
Yeah. And then a couple of units of bird ladies, whichever type.
Yeah.
And a formation, either the Cauldron Guard or the Temple Nest.
Yeah, I did the Cauldron.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like basically you feel like a psychic whenever you do it. And I'd get messages from friends like over in other countries who are like, I'm about to go up against Daughters of Cain. And then I'd be like, I bet you I can tell you exactly what's in the list. Not even knowing anything. Whereas Slanesh, like, it seems like every time you rock up against it, there are a couple of common lists, but there's not one build. You know, like it's very different lists.
And then you can summon like anything you want. So it's like if you have the models, like it's kind of.
It's a bit like
I feel like I need another bag to carry stuff.
Yeah, well, that was like when we started our game. You put your army on the table and then had a fucking cardboard box of potential summoning beside you as well. I was like, but yeah, I think that's where, for me, I think armies like Seraphon and Daughters of Cain and a lot of the Chaos armies have a lot of flexibility because they can summon what they need for a particular moment. Seraphon, I think, have the best versatility in their summoning, but unfortunately they have the most fair way of getting summoning points as opposed to all the other armies. So yeah, in the chat, Slaneese saying that the Locust Diversion should be a 5-up and a 4-up for the Keeper, that's probably fair.
Yeah, like the Keeper at a 2-up is just like crazy.
Yeah, like the Keeper effectively can always charge something.
I love it.
Oh yeah, of course you fucking do. You're like, I'm going to make you cry. But yeah, T. Pearson saying that shooting is how the Cities book is going to make the mark on the meta, and I would agree. Yes. Like look at that. And the Vinod Sass saying, we'll never forget your first game against Slanesh, where you had to kill 5 keepers, which, I mean, like that's just a lot of work. I can imagine in our game as well, if you could have brought a keeper back and added more keepers to the pile, you would have in a heartbeat. Because I guess by the time you kill one, it's generated so many depravity points, you're halfway to getting another one for free anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just talking some shit about some results, which... Credit to you, Slanesh, you're up there. But whoever took Beast of Chaos to second amidst that big Slanesh struggle snuggle, good job. I hope it wasn't just all enlightened, because that would be disappointing. However, we are here not to talk about these things. We are here to talk about some very important conversations, ones that no one else is having in Age of Sigmar, which is very disappointing to me, because obviously we like to deal with the important questions on this show, and one of the most important questions in all of Age of Sigmar is, what does my army smell like? How can I smell like my army? Would you not agree?
Yeah, 100%. I started the whole thing with I obviously love perfume. I'm not just... I've got quite a large collection, and I saw this perfume, and I might as well just start talking about, I guess, my DOK perfume, if that's okay.
Okay,
It has this a bit like a jeweled snake lady on the cover.
Wait, hold on.
Like
I have a photo. Let me pull this up, because I just want to show people.
So the bottle itself, like, I saw it, and I was like, I have to have this. I don't care what it smells like. Like, I just need to have this fragrance in my collection. And I kept calling it the Marathi perfume to my husband. I was like, I need to get the Marathi perfume. And it's usually sold out. It's a very popular perfume. And it's called Mortal Skin by Stefan Humbert Lucas. And it 100% reminded me of Daughters of Cain. And that was kind of my...
Where are we? Here we are. And you have kindly provided me with samples of these, so that I can talk to people about what we're smelling. So we're about to smell what a Daughters of Cain army should smell like. And now, Night Scribe, good to see you. Lug Knights Demad, don't worry, there is a smell for green skins here, which we will get to, I swear to you. And now, so we're about to smell what Daughters of Cain smell like. And I know that some people might be listening to this back, so we will try to do it and confirm it. So we'll have a little spritz and we'll talk about it, and I'll sip some wine and we'll discuss. So Daughters of Cain smell like this.
So it's like a very mysterious scent. It's got blackberry ink note.
Oh, I just squirted it in my eye. Fuck.
I should be watching the live feed. It's
got myrrh,
ambergris, and civet, and a whole bunch of other notes, and those are kind of the dominant notes in it. And it's really dark and mysterious. And not only is I find the smell, if you don't have it in your eye, but your nose.
I'm experiencing it in all the different ways right now. Yes,
it's actually one of the most expensive ones that we're going to be
okay, well, there you go.
That was rather fitting.
Very appropriate, given that it's a Games Workshop tie. We're considering it a tie-in scent. To be honest with you, this smells like someone who is like honey potting someone. You know, it's like you're taking them out to dinner because you want something from them. Which I think is exactly what Daughters of Cain are probably trying to do. If they invite you to dinner, you are dinner in some description, or like you're the entertainment. Yes. This smells like it has an ulterior motive. You have the nose for the smell, but this is
Definitely a
Yeah.
manipulated, like a manipulating perfume.
Yeah, I feel manipulated. You not only convinced me to smell it, but you convinced me somehow to squirt it in my eye, which was really good. Um, so
Yeah, so it's 200, it's 290 American for 50 mil.
Jesus. Okay, so if you're a Daughters of Cain player and would like to smell the way that Marathi smells, it's going to cost you a couple of start collecting boxes to get there. But that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
like
fine.
it'll cost you like 2 witch elves. I'm kidding.
Yeah, so, like not so mad saying it's so Daughters of Cain, even the smell hurts people. Yes, and it costs you only 30 witch elves, which I think is wonderful. Another reason that we're having this conversation as well is because how often do you go to a tournament? And so in tournaments in Australia, we were talking about this just off air before. Tournaments in Australia would literally put into the players pack, please remember to bring deodorant or a second shirt if you're a bit smelly and sweaty. Now me, I run hot. When I play Wood Ollies, excuse me, I sweat. Not so much since I've been in Canada, but that's because you guys don't have so much of a sun or a sun. Like I'm pretty sure you just have a light bulb in the sky. It's interesting that in Australia you have to remind people that like your hygiene is important. So I would actually love for people to start rocking up to events with like a cologne themed around their army, so that you can not only smell good, but you can smell like what you're taking. So
It would be like I wear this. Like I've worn this when I played Daughters. And if I'm at any tournaments that are local to Vancouver, if you want me to bring samples of any of it, of some of these I can bring.
Yeah, well that's it. Like next time you're going to a tournament, we'll drop a message and see if you bring a couple and you can be like, yes, now you smell proper. FYI, we won't get to it maybe for a few. We'll save it towards the end. The Nurgle smell is just beyond anything my face has ever experienced, but we'll talk about that in a little while. So look, the Daughters of Cain smelling like they're going to give you a bad time. Now, this next one I have here is I think you said it's Deepkin. It's the Ideneth Deepkin. Is what I'm looking at, I think.
Yeah,
yep.
It's like the light blue color.
Yes, Sailing Day.
Yes.
Sailing Day. Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's and I will not squirt this in my face.
Like, this is like an aquatic, like ocean, like fragrance, and it's got a note of seaweed, and it's just like this. It reminds me of that wave cape guy. I'm going to mispronounce his name.
Oh,
Mathland.
Oh, the Eidolon? Yeah. Yep.
That guy. Like, he's just like, if you, like, you're on the water, this is what you're going to smell. And it's a unisex scent, and I find it quite pleasing. Like, you think you're going to hear the notes, you're like, I don't want to smell like a
seaweed or something.
Mess, but I think it's actually a pleasant scent.
Yeah. You know what it smells like, right? I get from this a free guild like dude on his boat sailing through the sea and smells it and is like, oh, that smells pretty good, because all I've been smelling is like fish guts for the last while. And then like looks and sees like some mermaids or some merman and is like, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. And then has his soul sucked out to shove inside a thrall or a reaver or something like that. Look, I'm not saying it smells like seaweed and sad dreams, which is just, probably awful. T. Pearson saying that we don't think we should encourage people to bring with them the smell of the Everdank, which would be fair. There's a few smells here that we probably wouldn't want to encourage people to do. Only because they do. And Andy's saying it's high tide for fragrance. And it is. Now, Deepkin are a very good army. They're very top tier at the moment. So the least you can do is make your opponent feel a bit better about the fact that you're fucking them up by smelling good while you do it and making them think of it. Now, what should we talk about next? Maybe, what am I looking at here? No, that's the one that we don't want to open just at the moment. Actually, here we go. I have one now. Just guess.
Okay.
Those in the chat, guess what you think. V is going to say this one she has chosen for which allegiance. It's called Spirit. It's called Spirit. Now, what do we think? That Lugnuts didn't even hear the rest of the question, just said orcs. No, this isn't orcs. This isn't orcs. It's not. Lugnuts, I know you want it to be orcs. It's not. It is in fact Nighthaunt. Nightscribe, you are correct. V, talk us through Spirit, the spooky little scent that I'm going to try.
So this is a scent that's actually by an indie perfume house.
Okay, yeah.
Parlor Company from the States. It's quite an affordable scent. And it's like, to me, if Lady Alondra floats by, you get whisk of a very light, it's got white tea, lemon, apricot, bergamot. It's kind of just this very light fragrance that I would see kind of like like for Nighthaunt, it just, to me, was perfect. Like, it's not at all a heavy scent. It's so kind of light, and I think this is a very wearable scent. And it's actually quite affordable for what for what it was.
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact cost.
But I feel like this smell is like, you know when something's too good to be true? Like you would see Lady Alinda and you're like, you're gorgeous. You're wonderful and you're amazing. Look at you in your beautiful dress. And then she lifts up her veil and just like fucking death screams you. That's what that smells like. I'm like, what are you hiding from me? Because it's too perfect. It's too delicious. It's too amazing. And which is, the glowy spirits are all like, and then suddenly they tear out your eyes and your face and turn you into a spirit. Which I kind of get there as well. Slanice saying that it's time to go to bed. And says good night to you and me. Good night to everybody. Good night, Slanice. Lovely to have you here, and I'm sure you were stoked to have a little Slanesh co-conspirator in the chat there, V.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I know. Your people are multiplying.
He's gonna miss the Slanesh fragrance.
Oh yes. Okay, so maybe we should do the Slanesh fragrance right now, just in case Slanice is still around. We'll do the Slanesh fragrance because I actually also have a picture of this one because the fucking bottle of this one, it's like a fucking Slanesh bottle for some fucking reason.
Yeah, it's called Hedonist.
Perfect.
And it's
yes. Hedonists of Slanesh.
By Victoria Minya.
Yeah.
And the bottle, you actually saw it in person.
Yeah.
And it's got bohemian crystals.
It's full. It's like a gold fucking bottle full of gold fucking crystals. Jesus.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be a very pleasurable scent, and it's got peach, rum, vanilla, tobacco, and some floral notes.
Now look.
And it's quite expensive too.
The rum in there is going to make me happy, so let's find that. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one convinces me to do some naughty things that I then regret when my soul is down in the realm of chaos. But yeah, like yeah, that's...
like, you almost want to be killed by the keeper if they smell like it.
Yeah, legit.
Like, you'd be okay.
I want to taste it. I know it's not good. I know it'd hurt. But, like, it smells like I want to put it in my mouth. I'm not going to. That would be bad. That would be bad. In the same way as...
None of those samples are for consumption.
No. Okay, good. Thank you for that, because otherwise I might have been tempted. It smells... It's like the contrast paints. Don't drink this. That's a bad idea. Sonny's saying that peach is hot and so is tobacco. But that is actually a damn good smell. I would like to smell like that, just naturally, in my day-to-day. I know it's probably a lady's scent, but damn, that smells like you are the most beautiful creature in the mortal realms, and other people just like want you at their parties. That's what that smells like.
Yes. Yeah,
and
definitely.
so hedonist, if you're a Slanesh player, you should smell like hedonist at every tournament you go to. And so Slanice, now you may go to bed. Now you may rest. V, I take it that one is a big one for you, given that you play Slanesh.
Yeah, I have worn it playing Slanesh before.
Oh, really? Yeah, there you go. You're like, I'm going to smell the way that I'm going to. Slanesh is going to get it and tuck it under the old pillow, just so that it goes to sleep smelling of and waking to the smell of Slanesh doing naughty, naughty things to people who didn't think about it. So if you have wondered and you are one of those first four things, that's what your allegiance smells like. Now, here's the trick, V. In fact, we've got a few of these to look at. So I'm going to ask you, of these four, which do you think is the best match? The best match to
the one we've done, the four we've done
of the
so
four
far.
We've done. Which is the finest match?
I think the hedonist one for Slanesh, because it's got the bottles and the scent and everything, and so that's probably. Yep. I mean, the close second would be Mortal Skin from Morale.
Yeah, but I gotta say, I agree with you. See, we're obviously dealing with the hot issues in this show, but yes, it not only does it look like it belongs to Slanesh, it smells like it belongs to Slanesh, and the name belongs to fucking Slanesh. It is perfection. Yeah. It is right on the money. And I feel so. In the chat as well, throw out there what allegiances you would like to know how to smell like. Because if we don't have it here, we will find out and bring it to you at a future date what you should smell like, just in case we don't have it with us here today. Now, I think now you have one for the Minimum Pants wants to know about Dispossessed. And there's one here that I'm not allowed to read the name of that apparently you want to. So do you want to talk about that now? Do you want to talk about?
Okay, so that's there's a really great scent that we have, and it's for FEC. And surprisingly, this one, right? The notes are actually green apple. It has some ISOE super rose woods, bitter orange, and the whole scent is actually created for inspiration of stuff that was thrown out, like bits of orange peel and wood chips. And you might be kind of thinking, like, why am I being so nice to FEC? Like,
I was about to say, yeah. So this is for Flesh Eater Courts players, and to describe it, okay, like it's like citrusy and shit.
Yeah. So you're kind of surprised. You're like, what's this love for FEC?
Yeah.
So when I saw this one, I actually purchased it for the name. And I feel that the name alone really translates to FEC. And the name of this fragrance is I Am Trash.
I Am Trash. The Flesh Eater Courts fragrance chosen by Veronica of Casually Fragrant. And to be honest, it does smell like what I imagine a noble lord would want to smell like prior to being covered in blood and eating a whole lot of bad juju.
Yes.
But yeah, it smells too good for Flesh Eater Courts, I have to say. But the name I Am Trash.
That's what they think they smell like.
Yeah, that's it.
They're
actually just rubbing feces all over themselves, and they're like, yes, orange peel. This is just a lovely mud bath. Lugnuts to Mad, I guarantee you that there is orcs coming up. But Collegiate Arcanum, we do not have one for. So that might need to be in the future. Mr. Selwood is asking if there is one for Sylvaneth. And there is actually one for Sylvaneth. So if you want to make a joke about having wood, you may do that now. So talk me through it. Let me see if I can find this. There it is. It's actually fucking green. It's green.
Yes, it's the green one.
The Sylvaneth smell is green. Good.
So this one is, so it's called Enchanted Forest by Vagabond Prince. And the first time I smelled this, it's like, okay, you're standing on the edge of the woods and somebody hits you across the head and drills your head into the soil and the pine needles and the fur all around.
Yeah.
And then, because it's very, like, the opening of that fragrance is like, wow. Like, you get...
It says a lot there.
Like
There's a lot.
Forest scent.
I feel like I'm in a Disney movie that just, like, punched me with a ton of woodland creatures and living trees.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And then when you wake up, you're probably a little concussed.
Yep, definitely. I'm feeling that.
All of a sudden, stuff starts to smell a bit pleasant. You start to get the black currant that's in there, the cassis, some amber, and it kind of like mellows out like the dry down of this fragrance.
Yeah.
I had this sample before I started even thinking of what it would go with, but for Sylvaneth, like the Enchanted Forest, and then
it smells like a
I
forest.
find it, yeah, 100%. It's like a forest.
It 100% smells like a forest in my face. And yeah, that's it. And like I spilt a little bit on my hands, and I keep going back and smelling it. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, some of these last a long time, Dan. So if you're spilling them on your hands, like, I mean,
no,
I hope you don't have to work tomorrow.
That's the first one I've spilt on my hand, and
okay.
I feel like I'm going to be touching people and smelling like a forest tomorrow. But that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Let's go from fire to from wood to fire. Because you've got one for Fire Slayers, right? Because I know Fire Slayers, they're coming back in a big way. Lots of naked, bearded men. And obviously we need to smell okay.
So it's
talk
called
to me.
By the Fireplace.
By the Fireplace. Yep.
By Maison Margiela.
And it's kind of orange too. Like the actual... Yeah, okay. I'm liking the color coding. Yep.
And it's got chestnut, vanilla, and woods.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, so when I thought of Fire Slayers, I was like, what would they... You know, they're like these tough guys. They're like, you know, like bathing in blood and all this stuff. But they have wonderful beards, and they probably maintain those beards.
Definitely,
and
yep.
This reminds me of like what their beard oil would smell like a deep chestnut, woodsy beard oil.
It's like it definitely because like, Fire Slayers don't manscape. I don't think they take care of themselves in any way. But then I imagine that they actually, when it comes to the beard, there's probably a huge industry. Like it's a big hipster industry. Traditionally, they probably didn't care, but now they're just like, oh yes, what you don't use natural chestnut oil in your beard? Oh. Wow.
Like,
what's the point of even having hair?
I was looking through who had the most like magnificent beard, and to me that was the Doomseeker.
Yep. Yeah, because it's like
definitely the Doomseeker.
It's
and
basically
like,
just pants. His beard is just pants. Minimum pants would know what that means. Having just a beard for pants. But yeah, so you reckon that this is what the Doomseeker smells like all the time?
Yeah, definitely. I think more a Fire Slayer scent by the fireplace, and it's actually the bottles are kind of apothecary jar styles.
Okay, yeah, right.
It's actually quite affordable. It's like 158
see him wearing it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I like it. So for those who may have joined us late, we're talking scents. So Veronica joining me from Casually Fragrant is quite a master of scents. And so we're talking about fucking smells and scents and armies and what matches everything basically because it's fucking ridiculous and I think it's fun. And so if you have missed yours, you might need to watch back. LLV saying that I'm going to smell like a fragrant French hooker tomorrow. And I guess I'm in the right. I probably am. Yeah. I'm disappointed that you're suggesting I don't smell like that all the time and asking if I'm drinking champagne. I am drinking bubbles because we're being classy today. It's our classy day because we're talking about scents and smells and fragrances. And so I'm drinking champagne while we do this. Cheers. Now, I don't know. Where should we go? Do we want to maybe throw one to the next? Let's see if the
sure.
Yeah, right. We'll see. Okay. So we'll.
Do you have the sample?
I do. Yes. And so I'm guessing. I don't know. We didn't really plan this, but we'll smell and talk about it, and then the chat can tell us what the smell is. I guess this one we haven't determined anything for this, right? Like there's no name for this. This is literally just you pick what it fucking is.
No, I wanted to include it. Like the name's kind of cool.
Yep.
The company's called A Lab on Fire. They're a niche perfume house, and the fragrance is called Messy Sexy Just Rolled Out of Bed.
Messy Sexy Just Rolled Out of Bed. Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Which is how I wake up every morning. That's how I am. I'm messy, I'm sexy, I just rolled out of bed. I'm hungry and needing of coffee. LLV saying that he'd
it's
like
got
to know what a witch elf would smell like for no particular reason. Then you need to go back and rewatch the show. I think that was the first one we did, and it's dangerous. It's a dangerous smell. But we're talking about messy, sexy, just rolled out of bed. That's the title alone. Talk to us about the smell, V. What are we getting here?
So it's a gourmand sweet scent.
Mm-hmm.
It's got toffee, amber,
Ooh, yeah.
heliotrope, which kind of gives it a bit of an almond, like marzipan scent, peach blossom, vanilla, tonka.
It kind of smells like dessert.
Feminine.
Like
Yes, it does.
Right now I want to go across the road to the 7-Eleven and buy an ice cream sandwich. Like that's what this is making me want to do.
So which faction would smell like something that would want to be
like
eaten?
it's right? Like which faction wants itself to be eaten? Lugnut's Damad suggesting Beastmen, which like I guess I can kind of see it, but they also like pee and poop themselves and throw a lot of feces around. So that's I guess a toughie. But yeah, Andy Selwood was saying it's like a microwave meal ready in 3 minutes and looking nothing like what I said I would. So wanting us to do dwarves as well. Legnuts is giving us shit. Messy Sexy just rolled out of bed. I gotta say, you know who's dessert for me at the moment? Who's a little bit quiche in the Mortal Realms? Seraphon.
Who's that?
Seraphon, a little bit delicious for me in the Mortal Realms at the moment. However, from the name, Messy Sexy just rolled out of bed, I actually think it's either Wanderers or Scourge Privateers. And it depends whether you're into like the good boy or the bad boy. Because I feel like like both of them are probably into sweet shit. Like Wood Elves, they're all into honey and stuff. And I reckon the pirates are all into like their rums and things. But I imagine that when they roll out of bed, like Wood Elves are like all beautiful and hair shit everywhere, whereas the Pirate Elves are like all dashing and kind of like mean, but they still care because maybe you can fix them and they were just hurt as a child. So I guess like for me it kind of sits there. Dad Hammer actually saying pirates as well, and saying that everyone thinks a pirate is sexy, but really they've always just gotten out of bed. Which is probably right. So Dad Hammer going down the pirates there. So I think we've solved that question.
Pirates.
Lugnuts really wants us to do dwarves, and I don't know how I feel about it because I saw the name of the dwarf one. I saw the name of it and I wasn't stoked. So do you want to talk us through which one you thought for dispossessed?
So this was the last one that I gave Dan when I was showing him all the scents, and it's called Confessions of a Garden Gnome.
Confessions of a Garden Gnome. Confessions of a Garden Gnome. This is what you do to me. This is what like you could have like staunch metal steel or something tough. Confessions of a fucking Garden Gnome is what the dwarves. Okay, yep. Talk me through this. What am I about to smell?
So it's a outdoor woodsy scent, like kind of garden, foresty. It's more the name that drew me to it. It's got lily of the valleys, some violet leaf, birch, coriander, ambergris, musk. But I just to me when I play, I just see them all as little gnomes. And they all look the same.
That was the most offensive thing. Yesterday when we were playing, I was like, these guys, that's them and that's them. One unit was like demure, lots of iron, lots of greys. The other was bright colours, and you looked at the two units and were like, they all look the same to me. How could you, V? How could you? So racist. So racist. And devastating. Now, we only have a few left. And I think that we should save maybe Orcs and Nurgle for last.
Okay.
So do you choose which should we talk about next? Who do you want to talk about next?
Let's do Stormcast.
Stormcast? Okay, because we have one for Stormcast.
Yes.
Which I'm excited about this because I actually had a cheeky little peek. Minimum Pants is offended for all dispossessed, just for the record, which is good. We should be very displeased with this. My displeasure is known. It's it's called Goldman, which
Yes.
I think is just great. Um, Goldman is the scent that you chose for Stormcast. What are we smelling?
Yeah.
Of a Goldman, V?
So the actual it's a musky, woody floral, and it's got civet, rose, hip, lily of the valley, oak moss, incense. But to me, it's like sorry, I always mispronounce evocators.
Evocators, yeah.
Evocators. They got their golden armor, and they're like these rich bros, and they're all the same scent.
Well, they've all got high collars. Like, look at them all. They've all got like high collars and weird shit. They're like, their collars are supposed to fold down, but they're like, nah, if we wear them up, we look badass.
And they're all gonna wear the same one. And
yeah.
Old school, rich.
And they travel. They travel in a pack, so like the smell just follows them like a cloud. I have to say as well though, like, I can see Stormcast, like, before they put their armor on and go into battle, like, anointing themselves as well. Like, I can see that, like, maybe, like Space Marine kind of thing. And I would straight up, that's the way a Stormcast would smell. Like, if you play Stormcast, Hammers of Sigmar, and you want to smell like your army, pop those fucking collars, light up a little bit of electronic, like, tase yourself, and buy Goldman.
It's by Amouage. And it's actually $320 American for 100 mil.
Okay, don't buy it. Don't buy it, because that's like half a fucking army. But then again, if you have enough money that you're like, I bought 30 Liberators, now I bought 40 Sequitors and 20 Evocators, you can probably afford $320 to smell like your army as well. But yes, you probably need to be a Storm Bro to be able to afford that.
Yeah.
However, LLV shocked in the chat. And LLV is our man who knows stats. So if he is shocked, we should all be shocked at that for 100 mils. This is for Vanilla just saying it's if you want to buy Stormcast Eternals but pay Daughters of Cain prices. However, I feel like the Stormcast get a lot of stuff, everything, and they almost become the whipping boys a lot. So at the very least, that way, when your opponent goes to give you shit, you can be like, yes, but I smell fantastic. And your opponent would have to be like, damn it, I can't give it to him. Okay, so only one more before we get to Orcs and Nurgle. And it's I think people are going to know from the moment we say what its title is. So do you want to talk us through what we're about to smell? Actually, you know what? Why don't you tell us what it smells like? And then we'll see if the chat can work out who this is for.
So the notes are, it's supposed to smell like, it's got patchouli, cedar, moist earth scents, pine with a bit of rose and vanilla.
So like wet.
It's kind of got like a soil, wet brown.
Like wet dirt, maybe like, roses.
Maybe like a rotting rose on it.
Oh, like a rotting rose. Okay, yeah, that's nice.
Maybe,
and then we'll see if anyone can actually pick it from that. And see if I can't even get this fucking bottle open at the moment. I'm struggling. Lugnuts wants it to be corn or Troggoths or something. Not quite. No. LLV thinking possibly Git. Oh, wow. That does straight up smell like someone dug up a whole lot of ground.
Yep.
Haywo saying that bottle opening gameplay just mind-blowing. I know that. We're trying to do it without covering myself in it. LLV suggesting maybe vampires. Lugnuts saying death. Do you want to tell us what this is called, V? And then we'll let people know.
It's called Grave.
It's called Grave. So obviously for Legions of Nagash. And
yes.
And yeah, if like let's come on, Nagash, Grimghast Reapers, all that has been massive recently. That's not a bad way to smell if you're a fuckhead with like 60 Grimghast Reapers and Nagash. And it's almost like that's what he would smell like, but he wouldn't scent himself with the perfume. That'd be his like natural scent.
Yeah,
that's
like
just it.
Like that moist earth and like.
Nagash always smells good, and then when people compliment him on it, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't worry. No, I don't do any of that. This is just, I smell, oh, well, that's very exciting to learn that. But as it can be very unpleasant to play against Legions of Nagash armies. LRV saying that who in the real world wants to smell like a fucking grave? If that's the way that my grave smells, I will be very happy. It's a bit like barbecue shapes, which are an Australian classic. And yeah, it doesn't smell necessarily like a grave, but it smells like how I would like a grave to smell. Haywo's saying Nagash and 60 Grimghast must play 2.2k games. That's true, actually. With the points rises in them now, won't see it as much though. But probably still see Nagash in the 30. It's not too bad. It's not as bad. Nemesis is saying it's his own natural BO. That's just how he smells. But skeletons don't have noses. Lugnut's pointing out the scientifically important fact that skeletons don't have noses. So Nagash would probably have some grounds to be like, I never know what I smell like because the old fucking geriatric can't smell shit. Okay, so we only have two left, which is Orcs and Nurgle. I feel like I've been warned about the Nurgle one. So why don't we start with Orcs? And then, just also because I don't want Lugnuts to reach through the fucking screen and tear my head off. So why don't we start with Orcs, and then we'll go from there to the Nurgle one, because just in case I accidentally spill it or something, I need to leave this fucking room. Haywo is very excited for the Nurgle scent. Skeletons, LLV saying that skeletons don't have noses. How do they smell? Like the grave. That was good. Okay, so we are talking about Iron Jaws and how Iron Jaws smell. Do you want to... So we've spoken about how much a lot of these scents cost. Do you want to talk about maybe how much this scent costs? Like, we'll start there.
So this one, I think you can get for $12.
Oh, it attacks the nose.
It's a basic.
Oh, it attacks the nose.
Kind of a basic scent.
Yeah, it feels like a fucking turn one from Iron Jaws. It just goes. Yeah. It goes in there, and it goes in hard, and it doesn't really think about the consequences of its actions. It's just, oh god. That's. I mean, it's not that it smells bad. It's just that it really takes no prisoners in there. So do you talk to us about it? So it's cheap. It's if you want to smell like an Iron Jaw, it doesn't cost you much, which they're a very cheap army to play, so that's good.
Yeah. It's got some like spicy aromatic scents. It's actually been around since 1960. So it's like been around for a long time. It's super cheap. And to me, it's just. Sorry, it's just. I wanted to make a joke, but it's a basic bitch scent.
Not that we're saying that Iron Jaws plays a basic bitches, but you smell like a basic bitch. And let's be honest, like, do you want to tell people what it's called? What is it?
It's called it's Brute.
It's Brute. It's the deodorant brand Brute. Has a smell, and it's Brute. It's just. It attacks the face, it attacks the brain, it attacks anything within reach of the smell. And, Venotus saying disappointed it wasn't Axe body spray. Lugnuts to Mad saying, where do I fucking get it? I assume anywhere you want. LOV saying, does it smell like an older Russian gentleman in a tracksuit? I actually kind of went there.
Yes.
So look at the bottle. For those who can see a screen, the bottle has like a big metal badge attached to a silver chain around the neck of it. Which, when I saw it, I'm like, it reminds me of like a large, probably European gentleman with a lot of chest hair and a shirt that's very open with like the chain with all the chest hair like curling through it. Also, the bottle's green. Lugnuts, the bottle is also green, which is wonderful. But yeah, and V, talk to me about what I'm getting here. Like that's, talk to me about it. What have we got?
So Like the notes are there's vetiver, lemon, you got oak moss, lavender. Lavender's actually used in a lot of male fragrances.
Right,
It's definitely a masculine scent. It's definitely a masculine
Oh,
scent.
I went in for another one. I went in for another one, V, and it was I breathed some of it in. It's it makes me think about it. Oh wow, that's fresh. That's fresh. Sorry, you were saying lavender makes its way into a lot of male scents? Fuck me.
Yeah, it actually does. Yeah. And it's so to me this just it's called brute. It's kind of like a brutish scent. And like you know whoever's gonna use this is gonna overspray.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
whoever
Yeah.
buys this bottle, they're like spraying like 10% of the bottle every time they apply it.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be like a cloud of this following
I
whoever wears it.
feel like just like when I did the show on contrast paints, in this show we should have like a disclaimer, like if you choose to scent yourself based on your army, less is more.
Yeah.
Like don't choke out everyone. LLV saying that he can actively see my chest hair growing. Lugnuts Demand saying I'm bringing this to Attack X.
God, no.
No, because what I want to do is I want to give you a cuddle and have flashbacks to this exact moment right now. Beefa Frod saying that your dad wore this scent forever. Grixty didn't get a lunch break today, but is home to catch the last little part of our show, which is wonderful. So for those who have only joined us late, I'm talking to Veronica from Casually Fragrant. She's a Slanesh and Daughters of Cain player who runs a fragrance like cologne and perfume. I hope that those are the right terms. Like YouTube channel about scents. And so we're talking about the scents of Sigmar. What your army smells like, what you can wear to a tournament to smell like it, or what you can buy your partner so that you can think about, I guess, the armies and things like that while you are with them. You know, if they're like, I'm not really into Warhammer, you're like, fine, I bought you Hedonist. There you go. And then you're hugging them and you're thinking about your wonderful Slanesh army. Haywo's saying, did I miss Beastclaw Raiders? Is it hay and sausages? No, we didn't. But we were just saying that maybe we'll do a little top-up episode in a little while's time where anyone who has allegiances we didn't do, we can find something for. And so we didn't and we don't. We only have one smell left. And
the Nurgle scent.
Yeah, was there? Sorry, just before we do the Nurgle scent, was there anything last on the Ironjaws scent? It obviously is it's not expensive like the Stormcast one, but it does. This one is the experience of smelling it is like playing against the army, which I think is probably the most honest we can get, right? Like compared to the rest of them, that one. That straight up just assaulted me, and I'm going to go and file a police report after this because I didn't get a turn two. I didn't get a turn two. It just filled my nose, mouth, eyes, and ears with it. And
if someone plays Nurgle and they wear this, it's going to become a tier 1 army because no one will be able to stand playing that person.
Yeah. This is it. This is the one. So Lugnut's saying that is that it just poop in a spray bottle? It's not just poop in a spray bottle. LV asking, did the Fex scent smell of winning? No. Veronica, what was the Flesh Eater Court scent again? What was it? The title of it?
The FEC scent was I Am Trash. I
Am Trash is the title of that scent. Lugnuts is going to buy 4 gallons of Brute and bathe in it, which I'm not excited for. Okay, so I'm going to crack the Nurgle scent.
Okay, don't spill it on yourself.
No, fuck no. Because the name of it. Do you want to run us through the name? What's it called? So
the name, and then I'll give you the company name too, in case someone is interested in looking.
Don't be interested in this, ever.
It's called Secretions Magnifiques.
Secretions Magnifique, which I believe translates to magnificent secretions. That is not a name for something you want people to buy to smell like. Yep. Okay. So who's it by? Just in case some fucking weird.
So I think it's Etat Libre d'Orange.
It's d'Orange. Yep.
Yes. And
Secretions Magnifique.
This perfume company is known for doing some. They actually did the I Am Trash fragrance as well. So it's by the same company.
Okay, so they did I Am Trash, which was,
Magnifique.
while it was a wonderful name, it actually didn't smell that bad. I'm sorry, I'm topping up my little bubbles glass because I don't know if I can face this particularly sober. Heywo is really intently watching this right now, probably planning just to because the thing is, this smell will physically affect your opponent, I think, to the point that you could actually put them off their game.
If it doesn't rupture your inner being, it's definitely going to rupture those around.
But, okay, so after last night, so we were talking about the fact that, if you put on deodorant or like cologne or a perfume or a fragrance, you don't end up smelling it after a while. Scientifically, that's actually like genetically built into us, because it's a defense mechanism. Because that way, if there are predators or some change to our environment, we can smell the change to our environment. It legit is a thing. Like you stop smelling yourself.
Yeah.
So if you put this on yourself early enough, and then just gritted your teeth and suffered through it until your nose filtered out that smell, you could punish every one of your opponents just for being across the table from you and probably put them off their game.
Yeah. And the people beside you,
people
behind you.
You need a hazmat suit after this. However, it's right there. Now we've spoken it up enough. I think it's probably time to smell Lord Protect Us. So tell everyone what we're about to smell.
So this scent was inspired by body fluids and
body fluids
advertised on the website as supposed to smell like blood, sweat, sperm, and saliva.
Blood, sweat, sperm, and saliva.
Yes.
Good. All right. Let's dive in. For those of you who are about to smell, we salute you. Okay, we didn't spill any on ourselves. That's good. That's good. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, it's like, it's not good. It's not good.
No.
Vanilla Sass saying it smells like a Slanesh fragrance. No, there's nothing tempting about this. Hey, whoa, disgusted. Yeah, you were so interested, and now the horror sets in. Hypnocrack, and it smells like your normal Monday night, which is disturbing. Like not saying that I should just take it. All right, I'll dive in for another little smell, but Jesus. Oh, it's so...
It actually has like a blood accord in the nose, a
Oh.
milk accord.
That's actually made me... That has actually made me feel sick. I actually feel unwell. I feel unwell.
I don't know who could actually like. And the funny thing is,
who is the target market for this? What?
Like it's sold out on the website because I got the sample and I was tempted. They had it on sale. There's a website that fragrancebuy.ca. I'm not affiliated. If you're Canadian, they have great prices. This was there on sale and it sold out.
Who the fuck wants this? Who wants this?
Buy it or not?
That's not... No! That's hideous. That literally... That made me... oh, God. That's awful. Nemesis is asking me what it tastes like. Fuck off. I might even have another spell, but I'm not going back again. That is just something... Notice that's asking me to get an opinion from my roommate, but to do that I'd have to put it on myself, which I am not doing. Blood, sweat, sperm, and saliva. Yep. Daywo was saying the target market for this spell is live streams smelling gross stuff for dollary dues. Maybe that's it. I need to do a show where I just smell bad things and get paid for it. That seems like that's like Jackass, but for my face. It's a prank perfume. They're twisted fucks. All right, we'll give it one last little smell. We'll give it one last little smell. Oh, fuck, I got some on
You're
my
just
fingers.
trying to sensitize yourself to it so you can.
I got some on me. I got some on me. There's a little wet spot on my finger, and now I'm going to smell like this shit for ages. Oh, God. Okay, we'll go in one more time. Like it actually, my throat like locks up. Actually, yeah, good point. Where's the brute? Let's get some of that into my shit right now. Oh, yeah, that's it. Because I would rather that. Yeah, purged.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lugnuts to Mad. That was a great idea. I'm purged. D-Blitz wants to know what the name of that fragrance was. Just for those who missed it, that was... Go for it.
Secretions Magnifique, and it's by Etat Libre d'Orange, and Etat is
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, go. Sorry. No, go. I'm struggling.
The company name, which I might be mispronouncing, is Etat, E-T-A-T, and then L-I-B-R-E, and then d'Orange, D''Orange. And it is a real perfume. It's a real marketed perfume.
That sells out, for fuck's sake, but it has literally defeated me. So if you've joined us late, the purpose of this show was to find out what your army smells like. And legitimately, the Nurgle scent is physically repugnant to, I imagine, anyone but the person wearing it. So if you are, like, if you want to give your opponent a 4D experience, that's it. Haywo's saying it's sold out, but they only made 4. But D Blitz is saying it's a 1.89 on Fragrantica, which apparently is one of the lowest scores that they've ever seen, which I would believe. I would completely believe that.
Yes.
Because right now, I would like to shut down my lungs for business for about half an hour, wait for that to leave my face. I would rather drink the brute than smell that. But if you are a Nurgle player, and if we're talking about competitive war dollies, and you want to break your opponent, you can put them off from the very start of the game by smelling like that. Lugnut's wanting me to drink the brute. I am not drinking the brute. Drink the brute. No, I've got delicious bubbles here because we're doing fancy things today. I will not be drinking a scent. But those were our scents. Now, V, if you had to pick maybe let's say 2 scents that you would love the army players to smell like. So if you play these 2 armies, you should smell like this. Which would they be?
Like what I want the actual players?
Yeah. Like the next time when you rock up to the next T-Shift or Attack X, the next event you go to, you're across the board from a couple of players. Which do you want them to smell like? Like, which armies do you really want to smell like the way they should smell?
Okay, so I'm not going to pick Hedonist because I'll be smelling like that.
Okay, because you're going to be a janky Slanesh jerk. Yep, good. So what armies do you want to smell like?
I want to see someone from Sylvaneth smelling like Enchanted Forest because it is a unisex scent and it is actually wearable. I have actually worn this before.
Okay.
And I think that would be a great one because it's like a forest. It's not going to like piss off your opponents beside you, around you. And I think overall it's Enchanted Forest for Sylvaneth.
But you could also
like one of them.
You could just put a little bit of this and dab it around. If you play Sylvaneth, dab this around your display board because that smells like a fucking forest.
Spray that.
Yeah, just be like, hey, you know when people are walking around to pick out coolest army or something like that? Like Travis from Australia has an amazing Sylvaneth army. It has won multiple Best Painting awards, but the only thing it doesn't have is smell-o-vision. So if you could rock up and his board just wafts this at you, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm here in the trees. Beautiful, wonderful. Okay, so Enchanted Forest, and what's the other that you would love people to smell like?
I really want you to wear Confessions of a
Fuck off! No, I'm not wearing Confessions.
It smells okay. And I really want someone to ask you, what scent are you wearing? And then you have to...
That the dispossessed scent you picked out is called Confessions of a Garden Gnome.
Of the garden gnome.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. Lugnuts to Mad is disappointed you didn't say Brute. Really disappointed that you didn't say everyone.
I already thought someone was already gonna wear it. So
Oh, okay, right. So you felt like they were already going to
yeah,
smell like.
Gonna wear it to attack it.
Yeah. I had better wear it to attack X apparently. I need to constantly either smell like a garden gnome or a fucking iron jaw. But so ends our segment on the smells of Sigmar. In the chat, if there are any allegiances that you would like, Dad Hammer, what was the pirate one again? That was sexy, smelly, just rolled out of bed. People wanting me to smell like a garden gnome in the chat. But if there are any allegiances you would like to know what you should smell like, let us know. And I will challenge you to find them, and we'll bring them to you at a later date. What cologne you should wear or perfume you should wear to your events to smell like your army. Sexy Smelly just rolled out of bed is correct. So, hey whoa, if you were interested in the Nurgle scent, that Secretions Magnifique, that's the one, and it is just fucking hideous. Indescribably hideous. It's like if your opponent were to sit down in front of you and put down like 3,000 points in a 2,000 point game, so basically like playing Flesh Eater Courts or Slanesh, and you were like, that's disgusting, then that's it. And you're interested in me smelling it, which is why you would wear it, because you want your opponent to smell it, and every time you come over to roll some dice on their side of the table, they just can't focus. They can't think, because their brain is telling them to get out, which is, yeah, that's where I feel. That's how I feel right now. I spilled it on my fucking hand, and I'm trying to keep that hand away from my face.
I own a lot of these. Like, I have some of them. Some I don't. I only had some from, but I do not own this.
You don't? No, it's not. And I don't know who does, but apparently enough people for it to sell out. So maybe Nurgle players have been on it. Maybe that's why they did well for that period. We didn't know, but they were actually fucking with our brains by filling our noses with whatever the fuck that was. But yeah, obviously, we've dealt with the big hot topic issues. Now there's a couple of events coming up. What's the next event you're going to?
I'm going to T-Shift down in Bellevue.
So T-Shift in Bellevue. I'm also going to it. So I'm thinking for T-Shift, we have a couple of these. So people can be like, oh, I would like to smell like this. And you can go, there you go. Now you get to smell like your army all event. How would you feel about that?
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, right?
I'm not buying Magnifique though. There's
no.
That one sample.
Fuck no. But I reckon get people to be like, get messages of what allegiances you're playing. So if you want, you can smell like that. And for the first time at a War Dolly tournament anywhere in the fucking world, right? And this is the thing. This is going to be revolutionary. People are going to smell good. Now, that never happens. What we talk about is like people smelled okay or it was all right. We're going to have the first event where everyone is going to smell delicious. I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Nemesis says you might need to have a chat to, because he's saying that he wants to play Nurgle then. Which means that he would like to smell like sweat, semen,
he's
saliva,
not
and
allowed.
blood. Not allowed. No, definitely not. I don't think so. Lugnuts is excited for Brute to be there because it's a good smell. So I'm guessing you're hoping for a lot of Iron Jaws players to drown out everyone else, which would be just pretty much along the line of your tactics. But yeah, so Attack X, next event you're going to. If you want to smell like your allegiance, that is the event to do it. It will be a 4D gaming extravaganza where you can also smell like whatever the army is you want to play.
T-Shift or Attack X?
Oh, Attack X, whatever the next one is. T-Shift, Attack X. I'm not good with names or dates. I only, 2 years ago, learned exactly what the date is for Christmas. So I'm not great with dates.
I'm going to both.
You're going to both.
To all of them. Yes.
So Lugnuts is going to be there, very excited to smell of Brute. Speaking of, we're coming towards the end of our show for this evening. It is almost time to say goodbye. But V, we always do. I always like to do shameless plugs. Do you have anything shamelessly you'd like to plug? Like, of course, now if people would like to know more about fragrances or scents or are interested, they can check out your YouTube channel, Casually Fragrant.
Yes.
Which I imagine for me, I actually dig a good cologne, so I'm kind of like poking through trying to find some cool stuff. But I imagine for say if you're a War Dolly player, it's probably not a bad idea for gifts, right? Because you can tell us what is the right way to go for a decent smell, correct?
Yes, I mostly review more like, I guess it leans more feminine for fragrances or to unisex. I have done a couple videos that mention more unisex to masculine scents, but I mostly lean on feminine. I also have an Instagram, the same, Casually Fragrant. At YouTube, it's 2 separate words. Instagram, it's all together. So if you have any questions about any of the scents that I talked about today, and you're like, what was that wonderful Nurgle one? Message me.
Don't message her. It's fine. We don't need it.
And I'll let you know what it was. And
just
a good place to buy few different places you can get fragrances.
But
some of these are only available in States. Like that.
Yeah, if you or someone you love wants to smell good, check out Casually Fragrant and drop V a cheeky little message. She'll help you smell like your army, which is the best that we can ever hope at an event. But we always do end with a ridiculous question, which I will throw to both you and the chat, V. So I guess this is it. If you had, the situation is, you got blackout drunk, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Made a series. Yeah, okay. yeah. That's just it. You just got blackout drunk. Okay. So this the situation is this. You got blackout drunk, right? Lugnuts to Mad is saying orcs is the answer. Already, without knowing the rest of the question, which is great. You never need to know the rest of the question. You just want to put the answers in there. You get blackout drunk. You wake up.
Yeah.
And sorry, you make a series of bad decisions. So your night is filled with bad decisions. And you hook up for a one-night stand with one hero creature or unit from the mortal realms and wake up in bed next to them. Bad decision you chooses, like what decisions led you to whatever creature it is. So like to give you an example, I thought about this a bit. And I was like, mine would probably be like a Chaos Dwarf. Like one of the Legion of Asgore. You know, like, because I'm like thinking about it and I'm like, I would get really, really drunk. And then I'd probably end up at like karaoke. And I'm singing Piano Man with some Legion of Asgore dickhead. And then we make out and end up sleeping together. So my bad life choice one night stand is a Chaos Dwarf. Because I sing Piano Man with them because I just love myself a bit of Billy Joel. To the chat, after a series of bad decisions and being blackout drunk, who do you wake up next to? Lugnuts to Mad saying Gork or possibly Mork. But you're too nervous to ask which one is which or who it's next to because you're kind of like, I know they're twins. I know I'm with one of them. I don't want to offend them. V, who do you wake up or who or what do you wake up next to?
That's like really interesting. You know, I've heard you ask this before, and I was like laughing that people had to ansr it a lot.
Yep, and now it's on to you now. That's no, and this is the thing. No one gets time. No, you get Nemesis is
I would
saying.
Probably get what's I need to know what he's saying first.
Okay, so Nemesis says he's woken up next to a plague monk. Dramas is saying a Dread Saurian. So like the Age of Sigmar equivalent of like a gigantic T-Rex. Yeah, sorry. So what are you waking up next to?
So I'm probably like my bravery increases with the more I drink. So
right, yeah.
I'd probably think of myself of being like, I'd probably try to like take out some powerful, big, whatever hero, and then, win them over with my personality. I don't know. I'm going to say I have like 2 answers.
Okay.
Give it to... I hope it would be like, a Stormcast, Night of Zeros type of thing.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm worried it would be like a Maw Crusher or something.
Well, we all have that.
But I want it to be,
I would love to be able to say like, yeah, my one night stand was with Marathi, but my reality is like it's probably with a rogue idol. So yeah, no, I get that. You're like, I seduced an angelic stormcast Knight of Zeros. In reality, that's probably what you thought you were taking home with you. And then when you woke up, you were like, oh fuck, it's a Maw Crusher. Oh god, it's such a Maw Crusher. You're texting your friends being like, someone call me please, and pretend that there's been an emergency I need to get home to. From the chat, there's a few others. Hey Woe saying, I keep waiting to call me back, but I've forgotten them. Bible Thump. Okay, yep. You're waiting for the callback. Fair. You're probably not going to, because it's a Namati Reaver, and so you don't remember actually being with them. That's kind of cool, because then that's like not the hangover that's done that to you. It's like the experience, which I feel like as a partner would be really disappointing for the Deepkin, because you forget that they were there the second after you've seen them. So like if you blink, I imagine you forget what was happening, which would just be really hard. Night Scribe saying a Namati Thrall. But he just knows, he can't remember what they look like, but was just really pale. Vanilla Sass saying Prince Sigvold, the most beautiful man in all of Warhammer. Lugnut's just keen to be with something that was. Beefer Frod wakes up next to a Bulgor, which, yeah, I can see that. You thought you were with someone who was really fit, and you weren't wrong. They were just so fit they were actually part bull. And I don't want to know who was the top and who was the bottom in that little relationship. Lugnuts is waking up next to an ale guzzler Gargant, which that would be special, right? At least they would appreciate drinking. But Minimum Pants wants to seduce a Blight King, which, given what we've smelt today, Veronica, I can say that I would not be excited to learn or experience. Mr. Cell.
I don't want to wake up beside any Nurgle.
No, never. Not if they smell like Secretions Magnifique, which if you've joined us late, watch the rest of the show to see what that fucking was. Mr. Selwood says a Spell Weaver. Bad decisions led to probably a Lofty and like someone who would never be satisfied, which is always tough. Dadhammer wakes up to a bar wench from some various bar at the dock that your ship landed in. But after saying that whatever happens, he wakes up next to his wife, because if he does give any other answer, he will be hunted down. I'm concerned that means that your answer has just meant that she is the bar wench at whatever various bar you met at, but I'm sure she's super lovely. But Lugnuts is saying that woke up next to a Gargant because both of you got blackout drunk, which leaves us in a lovely place, a lovely alcoholic place for us to finish our show with just poor relationship, one night stand life choices, along with a number of great smells and a couple of rough ones. V, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been the most important show that I have done so far, because we've obviously dealt with the hot button issues. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on the show.
That's all right. It's been my absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful evening, and cheers. I'll see you later.
Okay.